Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com, and today I am going to share with you this really fun card. I'm going to show you how to make it. I'm using a lot of product today, so just know that I'm going to be throwing a bunch of fun stuff your way. So this card is made with the bird Banter stamp set, a new one in the Occasions catalog. I'm also using embossing paste, and you can see kind of the shimmer there on that stenciled area. That is embossing paste, and that's made with our new glitter embossing paste. We're also going to use the Stamparatus. So we're using all kinds of fun tools in our card today. Can't think of anything else I need to tell you, so I'm going to flip the camera around. Hey Mackenzie, I'm going to flip the camera around so that you can see my work area and we can get started on this fun card, okay? Slip you in the stand here. Okay, looks good. I'm going to stand up on my stool too so I can read comments. All right, and I'm going to center my little workspace here. Okay, this is the card again, and you can see that it's kind of a little fun fold. So it has the bird on the front, and it's actually held in place. It's not very strong anymore because I've been opening and shutting it a lot. But this little ribbon here is really close to the edge with a glue dot, and it's to hold, well, it was to hold this little flap shut. And then you open up that flap, and you have a little birdie told me it was your birthday, and then this is the all the way on the inside. Obviously, it wasn't an early bird. Now, I love this stamp set. I haven't used it enough yet, but it's totally me because as my demonstrators on my team and my family know, I am always late with birthdays, so that saying in there is perfect for me. And then look at all the cute little birds and images that you can color in. So it's great for using with our new Stampin' Blends alcohol-based markers. Hey Sandy, hey Diana, I'm glad that you're joining in. Okay, let's show you what else you're going to need for this card. Obviously the blends, and these are the colors that I recommend. These are the ones that I used in my card. Let me bring that card back in here. We're going to use the Daffodil Delight, the light one. We're going to use the light Bermuda Bay. We're going to use the dark Pool Party, the light Old Olive, which to me looks like Pear Pizzazz. We may need the color lifter just for correcting some mistakes or whatever. And then I'm going to use the Razzleberry colors, even though our cardstock here is Fresh Fig. Fresh Fig is kind of a smokier purple, and Rich Razzleberry actually looks like this. And I'm going to show you how, by using this smoky slate color, you can get it to be a smokier color, okay? So we're going to use the smoky slate, and this is the light, yep, the light smoky slate. So those are all the colors. Then we'll need some, of course, some adhesive, and we're going to use this and the glue dots to add the little ribbon right here. We're going to use the Memento ink pad. You always want to use Memento ink when you're using blends markers. It stays in place. It doesn't bleed on you. Of course, I have my clear blocks. This is a clear photopolymer stamp set, so it's really easy to see through. So I have our stamps all ready to go. I'm also going to bring in the trimmer, because if you're making this card from scratch, the pieces don't come cut for you. You're going to need a trimmer. You're going to need your bone folder because you want your creases to be nice and sharp. Hey Karen, glad you joined us. And then you're going to need a paper snips, and I like to use both a paper cutting one and a ribbon cutting one. I save one of my scissors just for cutting fabric. It's very important that you do that so that your scissors can still cut ribbon over time. What else do we need? We need the paper. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the paper in just a minute, but let me share with you just a couple other tools that are off on my left. You're going to need some palette knives, and these come in a set of 3. You're going to need some embossing paste, and the one that I'm using on the card that I'm going to demonstrate is the shimmery white embossing paste. This is in our Occasions catalog. Hey, thanks for sharing, Diana. Hi, Kendra. You're going to need stencils, and this stencil is the one that I'll be using for you, and that came in a set of 3 that go with the soiree. It's called the Sweet Soiree Decorative Masks, and they look like this. Lots of fun stencils in that pack. We also have another set of stencils in the main catalog, and they are, let me make sure I have the name right, Pattern Party Decorative Masks. And you have the cloud, you have this fun looking one like this, and then you have the bricks, which are super popular. People are loving the bricks. And that one, that catalog has the regular embossing paste. It's just pure white. But in the Occasions, again, we have that shimmer white, And then we have also another color called silver embossing paste. But I'm going to use the shimmer white. And I think we're going to start with the embossing. Oh, one more thing that you're going to need is some washi tape or some masking tape. And that'll help hold your mask down when you're embossing. Okay, so paper. We need to give you measurements. This is the part where you need to take a screenshot. These are the measurements that you'll need for all the pieces. So, of course, we need our Whisper White cardstock, and that is cut to 5.5 by 8 inches. So we actually cut a little 1/2 inch off the end. We score it at 3 3/4, or if you're coming in the other way, it can be 4 1/4 inches. But you just want to make sure that you have a 1/2 inch showing right here on this side. And then we also need a piece for the coloring part, and that's the 2 by 4 1/8 inch piece. And we need a piece for the inside. Oops, I forgot to cut that one. That's going to be 3 by 4 inches. Well, yay, I get to cut in front of you. And then we'll need for Fresh Fig a piece that will go, let's see. Oh, this is the one that we're going to actually cut down. Okay, so we're going to emboss on this. This is our, oh, that's the wrong measurements there. Oh, I know why I put that there. Because you're going to cut it down later. So you're going to start with a piece that's 6 by 6, or if you only have 8.5 by 11 paper, you can use 5.5 by 6 inches. That way you can get 2 pieces out of 1 paper. But 6 by 6 is ideal because that is the size of the stencil. And after you've put the embossing paste on it and it's dried, then you're going to cut it down to 2 inches by 5.5. You're going to need a piece for the inside for that Fresh Fig, and that's just a layer that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then you're going to need some Bermuda Bay cardstock, and this is actually just a 1/4 sheet of cardstock that has been scored at 2 1/8 so that it folds into and tucks into the card. You're going to need some scraps of the Pear Pizzazz, and you're going to need some ribbon. And this is our shimmer Bermuda Bay ribbon. One of these comes in a pack of 3 with our celebration freebies. So it's really, really pretty ribbon. I highly encourage you to get that pack of ribbon. It's one of my favorites. So remind me, I need to cut the 3 by 4 pretty soon here, okay? All right, let's start with embossing first. I'm going to move this stuff out of the way so we have kind of a clear area. And I'm going to grab our piece of Fresh Fig paper, and this is again, ideally 6 by 6 would be perfect because it would fit right under that mask really well. But 5.5 by 6, again, you can get 2 out of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, will be just fine. And then you'll bring in some washi tape, and this will just help to secure your stencil in place. You can use masking tape. You can use any kind of tape, but I like the washi tape because it removes very easily. And if I'm working on multiples at a time, because I actually made, I think I made like 60 of these cards or more for a swap. And it was really easy to just lift this up off the paper and then position another piece under there so I could keep going. Okay, so let's take some, one of the palette knives and our embossing paste, our shimmery white, and we're going to open that up. And there is like this little piece on top that covers the whole thing. But you can see I've pretty much used up the whole thing here. There's not much left. So we just need a little bit. Oh, there's the soft stuff right there. So it's kind of like frosting, but you don't want to eat it. So be careful not to get it near your children because it's very appealing looking and you don't want to ingest this. It's not frosting, it's not food. And you can see as I'm putting it on here that a little bit goes a long way. I still have all of this left to spread, and you kind of start from the edges and you bring it in and you smush it down and then you scrape. You see how I'm doing that? So you smush it down and then you scrape. Okay, I'm going to grab a little bit more. Well, I might be able to get some off the edges here. Okay, I still have this much, so now I'm going to come in from the bottom edges here. And as you're doing this, you can see how you're scraping off the surface here. It's building just a very, very small embossed area. It's going between those little cracks, those little holes in the stencil, and it actually is raised. It's a raised surface, but only raised a fraction of an inch. A fraction of a centimeter. I mean, it's very, very, it's not very high at all, but it's enough where you can feel it. Okay, we're almost done filling this whole thing in. And the reason why I do the whole stencil at once is because you might as well get multiple pieces from one. Plus, then you've just been more efficient. I think it's messier when you just do a portion of a stencil area. Might as well do the whole paper. Okay, and then we'll just scrape off the excess and we'll put it back into our jar, and you'll want to close that up. You don't want your embossing paste to sit out in the air very long, so you'll make sure this is closed nice and tight, and it's not, so hang on a minute. Oh my goodness, Rachel. There we go. Nice and tight. Put your palette knife into a dish of soapy water. Put your embossing stencil, this little stencil here, into some soapy water. Now what I did is when I made multiples, I just kept going and going and going and didn't take the time to clean it off very well. And so the embossing paste filled in, oh, isn't that pretty? It filled in inside the little holes here. And you can see it's already building up a little bit inside those holes. Kind of like you can see that little white edge around there. So you want to throw that into some soapy water, or what I have nearby is vinegar right now. And I'm just pushing it down in there. Let me show you. It's kind of dirty because I cleaned it off earlier too, but it's just some vinegar. And when I had the problem where it built up so much, I actually put it in Coca-Cola. I put it in vinegar. I used my little Cricut metal scraper and I was scraping away. It took me a good 24 hours to soak and to scrape, but I got it clean. It was pretty good, so hopefully I can keep it clean now. It's not ideal, but it's good enough. So here is my stencil. I'm going to stencil a little piece, and I'm going to set this off to the side to dry. Sandy, I love it. Did I say smush? I probably did. Thanks, Jenny. So I'm bringing in one that is pretty dry now. I did this one about an hour ago, and I can feel the area. You can actually feel the raised area. So we're going to grab this paper out of the way. We don't need that anymore. And let's trim it up. Let's grab our paper trimmer and cut it into 2-inch sections. So being that it's 6 inches wide, oops, let's flip it over. I think it's easier to trim when you're not going against glitter. The 2-inch sections make it ideal for this card. You can get 3 from one piece that way. Okay, now let's set that off to the side. Let's grab, you know what, let's do our 3x4 piece of white real quick, because we're going to need that. I think this is close. 3.5. All right, so let's do a 3x4 piece of white. This is definitely not a beginner's class. Most of the time I try to stick with beginner stuff, but this is I'm showing you guys a lot of tools that are for somebody who likes to really dive in and stamp today, okay? So hopefully I'm not intimidating any of the beginners, but let's color next. Let's go ahead and take our piece of Whisper White that is 2 by 4 1/8 inches tall, and we're gonna go ahead and stamp onto it using our Memento ink. So this is a black ink, again, that is perfect for using blends markers. So let's start with our bird, and again, you can see through these stamps, so I love using photopolymer. We're going to go ahead and stamp that guy right about here, and then we'll stamp the balloon, and we're going to connect the balloon to his beak. And I'm going to need to clean these off too, because later on I'm going to show you the stamparatus. All right, so we've connected it to his beak. We'll do a couple more pieces that we need to stamp. Let's go ahead and stamp this phrase right here onto our scrap of Pear Pizzazz. And I'm going really close to the edge because that way I don't have to trim as much. And then this piece is going to get stamped onto our 3x4 piece of Whisper White, which I had to cut just now in front of you guys because I didn't have it ready. There we go. Oh, thanks, Faith. Okay. So let's set those pieces off to the side in color right now. with the coloring, we want to get that, that color that is not rich raspberry. This is rich raspberry. This is fresh fig. And hopefully you can see the difference a little bit in the camera. These markers are rich raspberry. So if we want them to match the fresh fig paper that's in our card, we need to get it a little duller. So we're going to go over the whole balloon, and I'm going to try not to have shaky hands. You know, anytime you go live on Facebook, it's so nerve-wracking because you want to do a good job. So I have slightly shaky hands here. They're not as bad as I guess they could be. But I did the whole balloon in gray, okay? Then we're going to come back in and we're going to use the light colored rich raspberry color. And I'm using the brush tip on all of these. And you can see how it dulls that purple. That raspberry color is not as bright now that it's going over the gray color. I also need to be a little careful because the line on this image is very thin. The thinner the outline on your image, the more likely your colors are going to bleed on you. So we want to stay kind of a little bit away from that edge. Now I'm going to do a little bit of dark on this side because the shine is on this side of the balloon. So we want the darker side of the balloon over here. Now I'm going to come back in with the light and I'm going to blend it. So I'm just kind of softening up that color and making it look as if we went from light to dark. And that's how we get that smokier color, fresh fig look, okay? Next, let's do the bird. So the bird's beak is pretty tiny. We just need to come in with the bullet tip of our blend. And this is the light daffodil. And now let's go over the whole bird with our light pool party color. Do the whole guy here, or girl. I don't know how to tell the difference. That's why I'm not a bird owner. There we go. We did his whole body. And then we're going to come in with some green. And this is the old olive light, but it resembles the Pear Pizzazz. And we're using Pear Pizzazz paper in our card. So we'll just do the little tummy area, a little bit around the head. And then we're going to come in with the dark, I'm sorry, wait, this is the light. This is the light Bermuda Bay. And we're going to add some little accents to it using the bullet tip. And we'll just do that around the head and around the wings and through the tail. And that's just to give, you know, a little bit more darker areas to the bird here and there. And then we'll grab the brush tip again and we'll do a little blending. And it doesn't have to be perfect. The alcohol and the markers blend themselves very easily. You don't have to do much. You don't have to move your markers too much to get the blend to go. Okay, we've got our bird colored. Yay! Blends 101. Very easy. Okay, we'll set that aside. We're going to tie our bow really quick. Now to tie a bow, I like to have my bow have no little loops or twists, I should say, in the ribbon. It's just straight. It goes straight up, and there's no twists like this, okay? So once you have it like that, then you just take the two ears, rabbit ears, and you cross them over each other, and then you tuck that top one over and through the hole, and then you pull. And you can always adjust later. So you hold on to the middle, and you grab the tails, and you can adjust that ribbon, okay? All right. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, next let's go ahead and cut out these words. This is kind of a trendy thing to do. And hey, you don't have to, it's like the person who likes to have perfection in their cards. Well, you have to kind of let it go on this, okay? Because look at that. They are totally not straight and it doesn't matter. Let me see how I did this. Okay, like that. So now we have these pieces ready. Fun, 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 fun. I think we have most of it ready to go. I think we can start assembling. Oh my gosh, we can. Okay, so you'll start with your white and we're gonna add this piece to the inside with our snail adhesive. Now stick around because I'm going to show you the Stamparatus too, okay? All right, so we've got that on the inside. This piece is going to go here, and in order to put it there, you kind of position it where you want it to go, where it looks right, and then you flip the whole thing over, and you can put adhesive here, and then you can flip it back. And now it's in place, okay? Next, we're going to put this on the inside, the little phrase, the inside sentiment. We'll stick that right there. And then we need our bird right here. Oh, this is coming together so well. I'm so excited. He's going to go right there. And then we need one of these pieces. And I think I'm going to grab this one. I like the one that's kind of rounded in like that. Now this one here on the other side, just flip it around and it still has that little framed look. But here's the difference, just in case you wanted to peek. So here's one card, and here's another card. Maybe I should do this one instead, just so you can see two different finished ones. See, that looks good too, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put this one on. And just kind of set this so that you do see a little bit of white on that left edge. And if you have any excess to trim up, you can do that. Let's say you did this on 6x6 paper, you would have like a 1/2 inch to trim up over there. All right, so I've got that set. And then the last thing, hold on, let me grab my glue dots, because of course I forgot to pull those out. Here we go. We need a little glue dot rolled up on the end of that, and we need to put it really close, but not on top of the Bermuda Bay cardstock here. Okay, and then we'll trim that. See how it's holding it in place already? Yay! One more thing to do is to put these words on the inside. So I recommend sticking them really close to each other like this, and then grabbing your snail and all at once just kind of going over the back of them, lifting them up, and I think it goes like this. A little birdie told me, see, this is for the person who's not a perfectionist. It looks great though, doesn't it? It was your birthday. And that's how you make that card. So how did I make 60 of these? All right, now we grab the Stamparatus. So let me just scoop this stuff out of the way really quick. The Stamparatus is a new tool. Right now, some of you were able to order it if you learned about it early. But if you didn't hear about it beforehand, it is going to be made available in our 2018-2019 annual catalog, which comes out in June 1st. So it has several pieces to it. I'm going to show quickly how to use this. It comes with this great little brochure that kind of shows you what it looks like, and then it has on one whole side a whole little visual step-by-step on how to use the Stamparatus. So it comes with a great little manual, and then we've got two of these parts here, and these come out and you can move them around. We're going to stick one here, and the other one we're going to pop into place here, and you have to pop it in from the top. You can't do it from the side. You actually have to go straight in, and then it will flip back and forth. And you can't have both of them in when you want to close it. It won't close all the way down. So be really conscious to make sure that you pull one out before you put them away. And you can set it on top of there, but you just can't have it stuck in there. Okay, so keep note about that. Let me put that back in because we're going to need that. And then on the back side, you have these magnets. You have one here and you have one here. And they're super strong and they're super fragile. So a lot of people that have got their Stamparatus have already, reported breaking theirs. They're having issues with them. So when you pull these out, you do not want this magnet to go near this one. You have two of them in case you want to have, hold down something like multiple things on the top or whatever, but you really only need one at a time. So you pull that aside and you leave it away from the other one. Make sure it doesn't go near it because they will snap together and break. And another thing that people are doing with these magnets, which I thought was awesome, see how strong they are? Oh my gosh. What I thought was awesome, and I haven't done it to mine yet, so I'm doing it in front of you, is to take some washi tape or masking tape, or even like using some duct tape, and you just put it around the middle part of your magnet like this, and just wrap it around and connect it. And now you've got this nice little handle, okay? So when I want to lift this up, I can easily grab it. Look how awesome that is. Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh, I've been dying to do this. And I wanted to wait until I did it in front of you guys so you knew how to do it. So that's your little magnet ready to go. And then, let me set that far away from this thing for just a minute. You've got a mat. This mat is when you're going to use the thinner photopolymer stamps. These ones like this. These are really thin. But if you're going to use a thicker one, like they call them the clear mount, although they're not clear. They're the regular rubber. If you're going to use the clear mount, you want to take this away, because this provides just an extra thickness for our thinner clear stamps. So let's put that back in, and let's set this up. Let's take one of our pieces of cardstock and put it into the corner here. I've got this flush in the corner. I've got this flush in the corner. I'm going to go ahead and put my bird down. Oh, I forgot. I got to clean these guys. Hang on just a minute. Grab my cleaner and my mist. I want to make sure that we have clean stamps on here. And now I'm moving the whole table. Okay, there's one. Yep, he's clean. Let's clean off the balloon. This is so cool. So I have a demonstrator friend of mine. She helps me every once in a while, like twice a month. Vicki, I need to call you soon. I have lots of projects building up and I would love your help. But she came with me to my house one day and helped me make these multiples. So she got to experience the Stamparatus before me, that lucky girl. Okay, so what you do is you put your stamp down where you want it to go. We're going to bring the magnet back in just so our paper stays in place. So we're going to set it right in that corner. And there's where my bird's going to go. And I'm going to go ahead and put one of these, it doesn't matter which one, but I'm going to put it right on top, and I'm going to press so that I'm grabbing that stamp, and now it's lifting off and it's coming with me onto this piece here. And now I can go ahead and stamp that guy. So I'm going to grab my Memento ink and I'm going to ink it up. Let me pull this in here. I'm just going to tap and twist and tap and twist. And you will probably get ink on your clear little, I don't even know what this is called yet. I have to read my manual. This clear thing here, you're going to get ink on it, and that's okay because it's not going to press onto your project. So now we'll come down and we'll press it into place. And if you make a mistake, you can re-ink this and do it again, okay? But that bird looks pretty cool. Now we'll go ahead and we'll take the balloon and we'll touch the tip of the balloon to where we want it to touch the bird, as if he's holding it in his beak. And then we've got that right there. And now we're going to grab the other arm. We'll call it an arm. How does that sound? And we'll press and we'll lift up the balloon. And then we'll go ahead and ink up the balloon. So you can see already, some of you who are thinking ahead, you can see already how this helps if you're going to make lots of Christmas cards, or if you're a demonstrator and you're making lots of swap cards. It's going to allow you to take and change out this paper and put in a new one. Oopsie, I have a little piece of tape on here. See, now I got that in there, and I can go ahead and ink up the bird again. And it makes it so slick to do multiples. Press it down, lift it up, ink it up, press it down, and that's how we cranked out 60 of these super fast. Lots and lots, looking all the same that fast. You're going to love this tool when it comes. If those of you that pre-ordered it are still waiting, it's going to come any day now. Some of you ordered it, so it's going to start shipping in March, maybe even as early as February is what I heard, I think. Okay, let's bring this card back in. Let's bring this card back in. This is another version that I did. He has the clouds on him. And then I want to mention quickly these ribbons here. Okay, so on this card I used our Whisper White Organza ribbon, and this is available to purchase in the Occasions catalog. But this is the free stuff, and you get a set of 3 of them, and that's where I got the Bermuda Bay Pretty Shimmer ribbon, and you get that from our celebration brochure. So if you're not a demonstrator and you're looking to order some products, you can get them from the from our online store or from our catalog or whatever. And then if you order $50 worth, you get to pick something out of here for free, a free little gift. There's lots of stuff in here. There's stamp sets. Here's the ribbon. There's that panda set that you may have seen out there. There's papers. There's card kits, cards and envelopes. Lots of fun freebies just for a $50 order. And then February 16th, yay, we get even more choices. So those of us that already have everything, because we spend too much, from this brochure, you're going to have even more choices. And those are going to be in this little flyer. There's a new stamp set, some new papers, and a new level 2. Level 2 is when you purchase 100, you get to have a bigger item. And this is a combination stamp set and embossing folder. And oh, I can't wait. February 16th is coming. Okay, let's see if I can take you out of my stand without pressing the finish button. Ah! Okay, I'm here, hang on. I have to learn how to use that stand, okay. Let me flip it. I have to learn how to use that stand. Every time I try to put the phone in or unclip it, it's just so tight. Oh, anyways, it doesn't matter. I hope that you enjoyed this card and the projects and all the fun tips that I had to share with you. I'm going to share again next Wednesday, because Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central Time is the time that I go live on Facebook, and I'm going to show you a really fun card using a diagonal kind of cut. I don't have the finished card to show you because I'm taking one of my demonstrators on a retreat this weekend. We're going to be up north in northern Minnesota from Friday through Sunday, and the card is one of the make and takes that she gets to make. So I can't share it with you, but I'll share it with you next week on Wednesday, and I hope that you come back to join. Thanks, you guys. Love you. Happy Valentine's Day. Bye-bye.